Have you ever felt like you were stuck in a season that refuses to change? Like you've prayed, worked, believed, and still nothing seems to be moving? What if I told you that the silence is not abandonment, the delay is not denial, and the pressure is not punishment? What if this very moment is evidence that something is shifting in your favor? Because seasons do not last forever. Winter cannot resist spring. Night cannot stop morning. And when God decides to shift a season, no force can prevent it. The question is not whether the shift is coming. The question is whether you are prepared for it. Seasons are temporary, but purpose is permanent. Everything in life operates by cycles. Day gives way to night. Winter surrenders to spring. And no storm has the authority to remain forever. When you understand this principle, panic loses its power over you. You stop reacting emotionally to temporary discomfort because you recognize that seasons are servants, not masters. They come to accomplish something, and once their assignment is complete, they must move. The danger is not in the season itself. The danger is in misinterpreting it. If you mistake winter for destiny, you will bury your expectations. If you mistake delay for denial, you will abandon your vision. But when you understand that purpose is permanent, you endure with confidence. Purpose is not attached to weather conditions. It does not disappear because circumstances become unfavorable. It does not weaken because opposition intensifies. Purpose was established before the pressure arrived. That means your current season has no authority to cancel what you were designed to accomplish. It can challenge you, stretch you, refine you, but it cannot erase the blueprint placed within you. When you anchor yourself in purpose, you stop measuring your life by temporary results and start measuring it by eternal assignment. Winter seasons often feel silent. Progress seems invisible. Effort appears unnoticed. Yet winter is not empty, it is developmental. Beneath frozen ground, roots are strengthening. Beneath silence, strategies are forming. Beneath pressure, endurance is being built. If you quit in winter, you interrupt the growth that was meant to sustain you in summer. Many people celebrate harvest, but resent preparation. They desire visibility, but avoid development. They want manifestation without maturation. But purpose requires endurance through every climate. When you embrace the permanence of purpose, you stop complaining about the season and start cooperating with it. You ask different questions. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? You begin asking, what is this developing in me? Instead of focusing on discomfort, you focus on growth. You recognize that every season carries lessons, and those lessons are equipping you for the next level of responsibility. The season may change around you, but the mission within you remains steady. Preparation always precedes promotion. Elevation is never accidental. Increase is never random. When greater responsibility is approaching, greater refinement is required. Promotion is not merely about visibility, it is about capacity. If your character cannot sustain what your talent attracts, the very thing you prayed for will become the reason you fall. That is why preparation is essential. It is the unseen work that qualifies you for seen opportunities. Before a building rises high, its foundation must go deep. Depth is developed where few are watching. Integrity is formed when applause is absent. Discipline is strengthened when no one is monitoring your effort. Promotion exposes weaknesses, so preparation must eliminate them. The higher you rise, the more pressure you will face. Without preparation, pressure crushes. With preparation, pressure produces. Many people desire promotion, but resist the process. They pray for expansion, but neglect excellence. They ask for influence, but avoid responsibility. They want doors to open without strengthening their skills. But preparation demands intentionality. If you expect growth, improve your habits. If you expect increase, refine your mindset. If you expect leadership, cultivate humility. The season of preparation is not punishment, it is protection. Delay is often the evidence of development and progress. What feels like waiting is frequently training. You are being stretched so you can carry more. You are being corrected so you can lead better. You are being disciplined so you can manage greater resources. Preparation aligns your character with your calling. It ensures that when promotion arrives, you are not intimidated by it. Opportunity does not create capacity. It reveals it. When the moment comes, you will not rise to the level of your ambition. You will rise to the level of your preparation. That is why private discipline matters. That is why consistency matters. That is why integrity matters. Promotion may happen publicly, but preparation always happens privately. And when the season shifts and responsibility increases, those who prepared will step forward with confidence, stability, and strength. Before anything changes around you, something must change within you. External shifts are always preceded by internal transformation. Many people wait for their environment to improve before adjusting their mindset. But growth does not work that way. If you think the same, speak the same, and behave the same, you will reproduce the same results even in a new season. The shift begins in your thinking. Your mind is the control center of your destiny. What you believe determines what you pursue. What you expect determines what you recognize. If your mindset is limited, opportunities will appear intimidating. If your mindset is expansive, challenges will appear as platforms. You cannot carry a mentality of scarcity into a season of abundance. If you secretly believe there is never enough, you will sabotage increase when it arrives. You cannot think like a victim and function like a victor. You cannot rehearse past disappointments and expect future breakthroughs. Internal language shapes external reality. When your thoughts change, your posture changes. When your posture changes, your actions change. When your actions change, your results change. Transformation requires intentional renewal. It requires confronting fear, doubt, and insecurity, and refusing to allow them to define your identity. Many people are trapped not by circumstances, but by conclusions they drew during painful moments. They failed once and concluded they are failures. They were rejected once and concluded they are unworthy. They experienced delay and concluded they are forgotten. Those conclusions become internal barriers that block external progress. The season may be ready to shift, but if your thinking remains anchored in yesterday's pain, you will resist tomorrow's promise. Shifting your mind also means elevating your standards. Excellence is a decision before it becomes a habit. If you are preparing for growth, act like it now. Speak with clarity. Manage your time with discipline. Treat small responsibilities with the seriousness of large ones. The way you handle what is in your hand determines whether more will be placed in it. Internal transformation produces external readiness. Hidden seasons often feel like rejection, but they are frequently the most critical stages of development. Obscurity is not punishment, it is preparation. When you are hidden, distractions are reduced. Applause is absent. Comparison is minimized. In that quiet space, character is refined. Motives are examined. Skills are sharpened without pressure to perform for an audience. Seeds do their most important work underground. Before they break through the surface, they establish roots that anchor them against future storms. If they rush to visibility without depth, the first strong wind would uproot them. In the same way, hidden seasons allow you to develop stability. They teach patience. They teach discipline. They teach you to work without recognition and to remain faithful without validation. Many people misinterpret obscurity and attempt to escape it prematurely. They seek visibility before they are ready. They chase platforms before they build substance. But visibility magnifies everything. It magnifies strength and exposes weaknesses. It amplifies confidence and reveals insecurity. If character has not been formed in private, exposure in public becomes dangerous. In hidden seasons, you learn who you are without applause. You learn to draw strength from conviction rather than compliments. You learn consistency without supervision. That kind of development cannot happen in constant spotlight. It requires stillness. It requires humility. It requires a willingness to grow without being seen. Obscurity also protects vision. When something is still forming, it is fragile. Constant opinions can distort it. Premature exposure can damage it. In hidden seasons, clarity deepens, direction solidifies, confidence strengthens quietly. What feels like being overlooked is often strategic positioning. What feels like isolation is often focused training. And when the time for visibility arrives, those who embrace the hidden process step forward grounded, prepared, and unshaken. Favor is powerful, but favor without maturity is dangerous. Increase is a gift, but increase without discipline becomes a burden. Many people pray for elevation, influence, wealth, and visibility, yet they underestimate the responsibility attached to those blessings. Favor opens doors, but character determines how long you remain in the room. Opportunity may introduce you to the platform, but integrity keeps you standing on it. If your inner life cannot sustain your outer growth, success will expose weaknesses you never addressed. Maturity is the ability to handle growth without losing balance. It is the strength to remain humble when recognized and steady when criticized. Favor often attracts attention, and attention can intoxicate the unprepared. Without maturity, praise becomes addictive and correction becomes offensive. But discipline protects you from both extremes. Discipline anchors you in principle rather than emotion. It teaches you to act consistently, not react impulsively. Integrity is the foundation of sustainable success. Skills may open doors, but integrity builds trust. And trust is the currency of influence. When people trust you, they follow you. When trust is broken, influence weakens. That is why discipline in private matters more than image in public. What you repeatedly do when no one is watching shapes who you become when everyone is watching. Maturity understands that short-term compromise leads to long-term damage. Growth also requires emotional discipline. As favor increases, so will pressure. Expectations rise, demands multiply, criticism becomes louder. If your emotions control you, pressure will destabilize you. But if discipline governs your responses, pressure will refine you. You cannot control every circumstance, but you can control your reaction. That control is a sign of maturity. Financial increase demands stewardship. Influence demands responsibility. Leadership demands accountability. Without discipline, expansion creates chaos. But with discipline, expansion creates impact. Maturity allows you to manage growth instead of being overwhelmed by it. It teaches you to say no when necessary, to rest strategically, to protect your values, and to guard your focus. Favor is attracted to preparation, but it remains where discipline sustains it. Positioning yourself for a turnaround requires expectation and alignment. You must live in anticipation of change. Expectation shifts posture. It changes how you prepare, how you speak, and how you plan. If you believe nothing will improve, you will settle into survival mode. But when you expect a shift, you prepare differently. You refine your skills. You organize your priorities. You release distractions. You create room for what is coming. Alignment means bringing your habits into agreement with your hopes. It is inconsistent to pray for expansion while maintaining laziness. It is contradictory to desire new opportunities while clinging to old limitations. Positioning requires intentional adjustment. Sometimes it means separating from environments that no longer support growth. Sometimes it means releasing relationships that drain vision. Sometimes it means confronting fears that have quietly dictated decisions. A turnaround often begins internally before it manifests externally. Confidence increases, clarity sharpens, courage strengthens. You begin to sense movement before you see evidence. That awareness fuels preparation. When the door opens, hesitation must not delay you. Readiness eliminates intimidation. Preparation removes excuses. Opportunity rarely announces itself loudly. It often appears disguised as responsibility or challenge. If you are not positioned mentally and practically, you may overlook it. But when you live prepared, you recognize the moment. You respond quickly. You step forward decisively. Positioning is proactive, not passive. It refuses to wait for perfect conditions. It understands that momentum builds through consistent action. Each disciplined choice, each focused effort, each courageous step creates alignment. And when the season turns, those who prepared will not scramble in panic. They will move with confidence, clarity, and strength. We've learned that seasons are temporary, but purpose is permanent. Your current circumstances do not have the authority to cancel your assignment. We've understood that preparation always comes before promotion, that character must be strengthened before elevation arrives. We've recognized that the real shift begins within your mindset. Your discipline, your expectations must rise before your environment changes. We've embraced that hidden seasons are not rejection, but development, building roots strong enough to sustain future visibility. We've seen that favor demands maturity, and growth requires integrity and self-control. And finally, we've realized that positioning yourself for the turnaround means aligning your habits with your hopes and preparing boldly for what you believe is coming. Everything you've experienced has been shaping you. Every delay has been refining you. Every hidden moment has been strengthening you. The season is shifting, and when it does, you will not be scrambling. You will be ready.